Congressman Mark Green, Tennessee Republican. But I love having the congressman. He's also a physician by training. So if you don't mind my tapping the schmarty pants doctor in you, sir, what would you advise the president to do if he has to be quarantined for 14 days? Would he be good enough? Is it enough clearance time to make that debate? You know, technically he would have had that quarantine, would have been right up to the deadline, but would it be wise? Your thoughts?
Thanks, Neil, for having me on. And those are two great questions. You know, what I would advise the president is just the normal stuff with any cold or flu. You know, drink plenty of water, get your normal amount of rest. And I guess for this president, that's about 4 hours a night. And just, you know, immune boosters like zinc, which has been shown to decrease the symptoms with, you know, cold, the common cold, which, by the way, 25% of those viruses are coronaviruses. So you should probably take a little zinc and make sure the D3, the vitamin D3 levels are good. I think that's pretty much at this point, early on with mild symptoms, what I'd advise. You know, the CDC has now revised its quarantine instructions down to 10 days. Now, there are some other little aspects of that. For example, you have to be fever-free for 3 days, but the total time now is 10 days, and so I think there'll be plenty of opportunity for him to make the next debate.
What does he have to watch for? I mean, he's older, so he's in that vulnerable group at 74. So you look at a patient like that a lot more closely. So what are the things that he has to be on guard and his doctors have to be watching closely?
They just really need to monitor his symptoms, and you know, it's particularly oxygen levels in the blood that interestingly enough sneak up on people. They can be talking to you with this virus and have substantially lower you know, oxygen levels in their blood. Some of the side effects of this this virus are clots, you know, particularly in the capillaries and the small vessels. So you know, they'll be watching those kinds of things. Just the common stuff early on that you would for any cold or flu.
Now I'd like to go back to the congressman part of you here as we look at the president's schedule over the last couple of weeks or so. He's been a lot of places, so they have to do a lot of contact tracing, I guess. But back to Washington Matters and this stimulus bill that they've been working on in the House. Guys, we don't need to show this particular thing anymore. But I do want to talk about stimulus right now and the possibility that this is actually, in a weird way, improve the odds of getting something done. Nancy Pelosi called it a change dynamic. Do you think it is?
No, I think, you know, at least on our side, and by the way, Leader Hoyer just announced that they're getting closer every minute and that we need to be ready to come back. You know, they're going to release this after this most recent vote, but we got to be willing or able to come back within 24 hours because we are close to an agreement. The negotiations are still going on, but I don't think it changes our perspective. We're still going to fight for the things that we think are appropriate. We're going to fight against the things that we think are inappropriate on our side of the aisle. So I don't think if it makes them come toward us a little more, hey, that's great.
All right, we'll watch it very, very closely. Congressman, Doctor,
thanks,
thank
Neil.
you.